What's up, guys? It's SIDENOTE RCT bringing you another video today. And yes, after a long hiatus, I'm back, and this time with some actual gameplay. Now, this didn't come around easy. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on with the computer, but I was able to bring it back for the from the dead for now. So yeah, I'm gonna be back with you guys now with Afrosoul in the tow. Just be prepared for some really good things coming up shortly. But for today, it's all about Dragonball FighterZ. As you can see by the shirt that I'm wearing here, courtesy of Afrosoul herself. This is the Switch version. So, where can I begin? Oh my god, I've been waiting ever since Dragonball FighterZ was announced on the PC platform, which of course I went full on ultimate, packaging, the whole season pass thing, everything from the music to the the extra music that had the GT soundtracks and stuff like that, to the announcers, the different little stuff that came gradually with the DLC, the added DLCs, which I have to say I'm not a strong follower, believer in DLC, but in this case, being that I'm so close to the series, that I'm really a fan of the series, I just went full on. But that was then, and this is now. At that point, I mentioned, I think if you go back to that video where I did a review on the PC version, the Steam version, you see that I mentioned that it would be completely awesome to have this fighter on the Switch. If I didn't mention it there, I must have mentioned it at one or the other videos that I've done so far, because it's something that has always been in my mind. This fighter, given the graphical style, given the franchise, and given the portability of the Switch, was a perfect fit, and especially if you consider the fighters that have come before this one. Everything from Blaze Blue to a whole bunch of indie fighters, and it just makes a perfect fit. But after some squealing and some begging, and Namco, playing hard to get, they actually, went ahead and did the project. Of course, they were going to do it because, Katachin, it's money. So now we have the version. How does it stack up? Well, I have to say, after playing, it was actually a blessing in disguise that I haven't been able to do more content for you guys, because I probably would have done like the first day and just make a video without going deep into the game and checking out the performance of the game. Now that I've had time to actually get through, I can say it stacks up beautifully. It is, in terms of performance, very, very good. It's hard to see unless you have like a frame counter of some sort, a way to discern that it goes, that it's anything but 60 frames per second. So in that sense, and coupled with maybe one of the best things that ever happened to the Switch accessories department, that may flash USB drive for connecting controllers. Of course, I'm playing with the arcade stick that I use for the PC games, and that makes all the difference. If you don't have one of these, or you don't have a Pro controller, is still the way to go. The way you do this is you connect this as a second controller, and whatever missing buttons that you have on the arcade stick, you'll have on the Pro controller. Now, that's basically summing up the differences. Oh, yes, of course, I have to show you guys. Gotta go here into the menu. This is the little I'm gonna call it chibi Dragon Ball, because even though it's not like this is basically the first game that ever came out, fighting game for Dragon Ball franchise, and came out in the Super Nintendo back in the day. It is a Japanese version, because I don't think they ever made like a English version of the game. So it's pretty authentic. It's nice, a little collectible and stuff like that. Not something that you're gonna need, because it's not really that good of a fighter, and this coming from a Super Nintendo, Super Famicom fan. But it's a nice little bonus that you get, Switch owners get. But I'm going to go in the game. I kind of jumped or skipped the whole intro stuff because it's exactly the same as a PC. Even the loading times, I compared them to the PC because I thought, or I had the impression that it was taking a little bit longer to load. But after going back to the PC version, I noticed it's exactly the same amount of time from, you know, main screen to the loading to going into the fights and stuff like that. It's basically the same thing. The only thing that changes in my mind right now so far is some aspects of the online, which that's why I'm not even going to bother covering the online aspect of it, because it's going to take a whole lot of time to connect, or maybe if there's not enough players, or if the players they don't want to fight, they just want to roam around, and it's something better suited for a stream. To keep things nice, short and sweet, I'm gonna just focus on how well it performs and a little bit on the story mode. So let's dive right in. It's basically a lobby. Let me go into full screen. This is, of course, the full fat version that you've come to expect, and love or hate depending on your taste, on the other platforms as well, you know, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now so far, because I once this game came out, I started playing it non-stop, like for the first 3 days, and then I just needed to take a break, and that's when I started working on the PC, on the Beast, and everything is history. So I've completed the Super Warrior arc, and it's a very good way if you are new to the game and you want to get your practice in, instead of going through the tutorial or step-by-step stuff, which tends to get a little bit boring. This is a very good way to get, you know, accustomed to the controls and the techniques and stuff like that. I believe I am very close to finishing this part of the arc, of the story arc, and then there's a bonus third, which I have no idea what it is, but so be it. Okay, here I am. So far I have, as a team, I got Gotenks, Gohan. Now you have a limited choice in terms of the characters, because it's all depending on the characters that you rescue along the way. I'm just going to show you a little bit of this and how it works. Take for example, I already have different fighters with different levels. I'm going to change, actually I'm going to leave Gotenks there. Let's do this fight first. Let's do one. Let me see what I get. Health recovery, not too interested in that. You have a set amount of turns that you need to reach this character right here, which is the boss, and you choose what path you want to take. But of course you have to remember or bear in mind that you only have 20 turns. So whatever mistakes you make along the way, you better count that you have enough turns to reach the boss, because if not, it's game over. Reward defense up. Yeah, why not? Let's go try to pick this one up. See, I spent one turn, and now to reach that fight, I spent another one. And while this loads up, I gotta say thanks again for the support. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I gotta do these videos. I'm gonna do a Far Cry one as well after I'm done here, because vacation, it's over. Oh, I gotta go back to the grind, to the work and stuff. But now it's huge difference now. I'm hoping that, you know, things are gonna go, in terms of the channel, they're gonna go really, really well. I don't need to say at this stage the fights are pretty nasty. Oh boy. When somebody like Nappa is beating the crap out of Majin Buu. Jesus. Alright, let's get into this place. Not good. Damn, that was just one. Love that move. Not good. Nope, gotta get out of here. And you're out. Now, in terms of gameplay, this is basically what Marvel vs. Capcom should have been. In terms of tagging and all that nice stuff. Gotcha. Got me pretty good there. Not good. Got him. Now, to my dismay, I thought for a moment that maybe without playing with the arcade stick, it wasn't going to be that good, but it was actually pretty fun and pretty accurate with not much latency at all, playing with a Pro controller for some reason. So, and I expected some pretty nasty latency because of the wireless aspect, but played pretty well. Now, that gives you an idea of how the story mode works. Basically, you start progressing in this board-like stage, and you go through several stages and stuff until you reach a part where you have like a boss fight, and you start like rescuing people along the way. Once you get to the boss fight and you surpass that, you either rescue somebody from that fight, and then you advance the story and so on and so forth. So it's, you know, basic stuff, but it's nice that it's actually there. Wink wink, Capcom Street Fighter. Yeah, it actually has a pretty robust story mode. The characters, bonus DLC, which, by the way, let me get out of here. Let me save it up to that point and go into the arcade aspect of it. Now, for the people out there who are watching the video, I would like to know, you know, your opinion. How do you feel that this version stacks up? Not taking into account the resolution, because that's, you know, that's kind of like pointless to argue that point, because it's known the system in portable is not going to go over 720p, and of course in dock mode it's not going to go over 1080p. So, you know, discussions about, oh, how this one, how it doesn't go to 4K or doesn't go to 1440p, that is basically pointless. So what has your experience been with the Switch edition, if you got it? I gotta say, at least on my side, having the PC version, it's perfect. If I want to play, you know, something like really eye-watering 4K, then I'll go with my PC version. But for the most part, I kind of like the ecosystem that I have here, and the fact that if I get tired of playing it in the living room, I'll just take it to bed and just put on headphones and just keep at it, which is something that I wasn't doing with the PC version in terms of the story mode and stuff like that. But let's go into arcade. Now, as you can see, everybody from the DLC is here. I believe they'll probably go and do like a second season, because let's admit it, you know, they have been making money. It's been very successful. If there's one kind of quirk that I kind of don't like about this version and the amount of time it took to be made, is the fact that they had the pricing structure exactly the same as when it came out on release date, first day. I don't think that's cool. They should have at least made a discount, because even though this is a new game for Switch owners, let's be real, it almost, you know, it almost passed almost a year. Same with some other games, but I'm not gonna get too much into that. So you have everything from the base Goku, which I still see no point in that, but I digress. Let's pick Vegito, let's pick Broly, of course, and Cooler, just to have fun with those. Now, I only played once out of the three, because you have the short one, 5 stages, you have the middle one, 7. No, actually, these are the I'm sorry about that. Okay, you have 3. You start with 3 stages, 5 stages, and then 7, and difficulty ramps up depending on how long you're gonna take. You know, the longer it is, the more crazy they become, especially at the end levels. As you can see by the graph there, I was going pretty good up to the 3rd stage, and then 4th, I got a little stuck, so I deviated from the path. Won that one, but then I got basically bodied on the 6th stage. So, and then once you finish that course, you open the hard version, which I haven't tried yet. I'm not going to go into that now. For the brevity of the video, and since we've been going on for almost 30 minutes, let's go the short version. Might take 1 or 2 more seconds depending on the load, I guess. Vegito is cool, but if I had to pick one, I would say Gogeta was pretty badass. I prefer Gogeta. Broly is slow as fuck, but he is very powerful. Vegito, of course, super badass. That's it, Vegeta. Sorry. I think it's time to get nasty with Broly. Oh shit, he missed. Oh no, he didn't. He got him anyways. Look at that power. Now I'm hoping that in that third story arc they included somehow these extra characters from the DLC, because it would be nice. I'm not counting on it because I think that they did the story arc for the game way before they even considered getting the characters. I don't know. I might be wrong. We'll see what happens.
The outcome of this fight is anybody's guess.
Now, for those, geeks and nerds like me out there who are wondering and who know my track with, dealing with my computer and stuff like this, I have to say, so far I'm pretty pleased with the new OBS Studio. Right now I'm doing all this and the CPU percentage is very low. It's around 12%. And I'm really happy. I'm hoping it's consistent when I go and do the video for Far Cry as well. Yeah, let's skip the intro.
Let's go.
Ooh, we got him good. Got him anyway. Oh no, he didn't. Well, sort of, partially. Come on, charge up, charge up. That's it. Oh, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna leave it there. As you can see, everything is pretty faithful, everything is pretty sharp and nice. You don't see any either watered down colors or stuff like that. So yeah, basically I have to say I am extremely pleased with this version. I hope that those of you who pick it up end up having the same experience as I did, because it's been super great. Even if I had to double dip, I can't say that I feel like I made a huge waste, because both platforms, they serve, you know, a certain sector of the community, of the gaming community, and if you have to choose or pick between one of the two or any other console version, then so be it, you know. But I have to say, in my case, the fact that I double dipped for a Switch version and the PC, I'm pretty happy with the results. There's gonna be a lot of people nitpicking, but I really don't care. You know, I feel that it's the game that it should have been, and in many ways it shows up many other fighters, which I'm not gonna mention here. I've mentioned them before, which came out much more expensive than this, and still at this time are not as complete as a fighter as this one is. So yeah, that's my take on the Dragonball FighterZ for the Nintendo Switch. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I have Afrosoul torturing me to say this a lot. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed this version, if there were certain things that you didn't like about it as well. You know, it's all to start a conversation. So I hope you guys are well. See you next time. I'll follow this up shortly with the Far Cry add-on DLC that I promised that I was gonna do for you guys, and that's what I'm gonna do. So thanks a lot. Peace.